Hey, what's up, you guys? Johnny Burgess here, coach of Anatomy Bar, where the goal is always to raise the bar. Peep the hat. Send me a DM if you want to get some merch and support the brand. So, today's conversation is going to be about doing too much or doing too little. Finding that happy medium in the middle, right? Because I'm always about efficiency. Some people call it laziness, I call it efficiency. For example, if I'm driving and I live in New York and I'm going to somewhere on the corner, there's a spot right next to me. But if I see a spot that's right across or right in front of where I'm trying to go, I'm gonna take that spot, okay? So that's just an example of what I mean. Efficiency, laziness, it's the same thing. I wanna do the least amount of effort to get the maximum result. And there's nothing wrong with being lazy. I know people who are lazy find innovations to make the world a better place. So let's get back to the point. Working out too much, working out too little. Because on one end, people are overtraining, going to the gym every single day, and it doesn't really look like it, right? And there's people who are doing the absolute minimum. They call it exercising, and they're not really getting anywhere, right? So let's address both ends of it and try to find what works best for you. Because I was gonna say there's no cookie cutter, but at the same time, it's a science. It's not opinion. Like being able to train and allow adaptation to take place in the muscle is science. It's not, oh, if you do 10 by 10 versus if you do 3 by whatever it is. Like opinions shouldn't even take place in the fitness space, but let's see if this conversation can help us figure out what it is exactly. So, I don't know where you are personally right now today, but let's start on the lower end of things, right? The people who go to the gym and they kind of go through the motions, they're not doing enough to stimulate a change in their muscles. So these are the people who will be on their phones in between sets, which is not optimizing their rest times. I'm all about efficiency, so have that context with what I'm saying. These people be on their phone, sending messages, checking emails, watching YouTube in between working out. So they're not really focused on the workout. They're everywhere else, right? These are the people who are using weights that are not really causing them to strain themselves or to overexert themselves. They're just doing like 60% and not even going till failure, right? These people, I want to say they're moving around, but they call it exercising. Let's call it exercise, right? Exercise is good. Exercise gets the heart rate up, and can get the endorphins going maybe a little bit. But there's levels. Again, you'll hear me say that all the time. There's levels to everything. So on one level, you have exercise, right? The level above that, I call it working out, right? Like you're actually getting some results, but maybe not as much, right? So you have exercising, you have working out, and then you have training. And bodybuilders can relate to this the most. And this channel is really for the individual who's been working out for years but doesn't really look like it. That is who this channel is for, right? So if you're a bodybuilder of 10 years, this is probably not going to apply to you. And if you've never worked out, this might not really apply to you either. But let's figure out where you are and get to where you want to be. Let's raise the bar. Let's get through those levels. So you have exercise, you have working out, and then you have training. Training the muscles is different than working out the muscles, which is different than exercising the muscles. If you want to see results, you have to train the muscle. Now, what does it mean to train the muscle? Simple. You need to do more than you did last time, in layman's terms. And the most simple way to put it, you need to work out hard enough, which is harder than last time, which will allow your muscles to continue to progress. Maybe you've heard the term progressive overload. That's exactly what it is. This is science. Progressively overloading the muscle will allow constant adaptation to take place. Boom. So that's on the low end. Now let's go to the other extreme end. These are going to be the people who are training 5-6 days a week, 3-hour workouts, supersets, 10 sets, hella volume. And I can think of people, as I've met people in my career and in my lifetime who have been on both extreme ends of the spectrum. Now, I love the dedication of the far extreme of overtraining, the people who are overtraining. So there's one person who comes to mind, and I kid you not, literally spends 5 to 6 hours in the gym, 4 to 5 days a week. I know this guy because I would go in there and talk to him and be like, yo, you've been on this machine for X amount of time. Like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I go for 30 minutes because because instead of doing sets and reps, I just do till I can't do anymore. And I'm just like, whoa, that's intense. I worked out with him a few times just to like kind of get an idea of it because he was stronger than me. He's like, so if I'm 205, he looked like he's like 280. So he's a big dude, right? And I was like, after the third set, like you're not really progressing. Like you're training your body to have stamina, which is different than his goal, which is building strength. I was like, you need to be doing your 5x5s, for example, right? And get out. Like, why are you still here on the incline? Like what? So we had a workout together, and what I came to realize is that he was never pushing to 100%. So even though he was getting incredible volume, he's definitely strong. Don't let me take away from his strength. He's strong. However, he's not efficient, and that's what this is about, efficiency. So I'm not getting at him for working out for 6 hours. I'm getting at him for not being efficient. So we worked out together, and I would realize he always had at least 2 to 3 reps in reserve. RIR, reps in reserve. I don't like training like that. I like to put it all on the line. I either push it or I die, right? Type of, for example, that kind of intensity, I enjoy it because I know it works. And there's like a correlation between putting out effort and seeing the results versus putting out effort on like the other end and not seeing results, or putting out too much effort and getting marginal results, right? So, he worked out with me and he told me the next day, he's like, yo, I was so sore because I've never trained like that. I was like, I know, like I see you working out. That's why we did till failure. That's why we did the rep ranges that we did, because he would only do like 3 to 5. Like that was his thing. Or was it? No, he would do 5 to 8. Yeah, he would do 5 to 8 reps of everything. And that was it all the time for hours. And I was like, whoa, you're not doing no 12 to 15. You're not doing no high end. You're not doing actual 3 rep maximum effort. He's like in a weird limbo, So on his thing, so he was telling me like, yo, I was super sore. Let's work out again. That was great. And I was like, I'm down, but I'm not gonna do 30 minutes of incline chest press. Like that doesn't make sense. After the third working set of the actual weight that I need to touch, which is just slightly heavier than last week, I'm done. I don't need to continue to do rep 5 or set 5, set 6, set 8. We did sets up to like 15 sets just to like, I just wanted to try it, just to be like, you know what, let me switch up my training program. This is actually in the end of one phase and the beginning of a new phase, so I worked out with him because I believe very much in sticking to the plan. I don't really like to deviate, but I was on a break, so I was like, yeah, let's work out. So anyway, I made a bet with him, and I was like, look, if I do my training with my style and I pass you, that's a problem, because he was, like I said, at least 80 pounds of mass more than me, and he was definitely stronger than me. So anyway, that's to come again, and I have to follow up with him and see where he's at, because I want to definitely pass him just to be like, look, this is what efficient training looks like versus 6 hours in the gym, right? So anyway, you have the extreme on one end of overtraining, you have the extreme on one end on undertraining, and then this is where we should all be, is in the middle of hitting the exact sets and reps that we need to do to get better than before. So what does that look like? It depends on where you are now, what you're capable of now. So for example, let's just use bench press, 135 on the bar, 45 on each side to be exact. You can do 10 reps. Next time you hit chest, which should be realistically, if you're really killing it, you want to give your muscle time to recover. The next time could be the same week, towards the end of the week. I like once a week, right? So for the longest, I've been training 3 days a week. That's it. Push day, pull day, a leg day, right? And what I found is when I'm able to simply, so say I do 135 for 10 on the bench press, the next week, so it's a Monday, push day, chest day, instead of 135, it should be 140, right? You can put the 2.5 pounds on each side and go for 10 again. And that's one other thing really quick. Not enough people are using those 2.5 plates or the 5-pound plates. It's like people neglect the basics, the science of progressive overload. Use those plates, that's what they're there for. If you're using the same 135, the other variable could be you do more reps. So instead of 10, you go for 11 or 12, right? But the point is, you need to always be slightly progressing than the previous time, and your muscles will grow continuously. The only time they'll slow down is if you're an advanced lifter. You've been training, not working out, not exercising. You've been training for 5 years. I think it's 3 to 5 years plus is now considered advanced. At that level, you have to start doing more advanced training principles, whether it's supersets, whether it's more sets, whether it's tempo play, where it's pause reps, things of that nature. Working on the eccentric, that's a whole nother video. The point is, don't be on the extreme of either end. Find that happy medium and progressively overload. Now, the one last tip I want to leave you guys with, to continuously, progressively overload, you have to track your progress. I like using notes. I have an app that I use, a little selfish plug there. You guys can check it out. I'll set a link in the bio. You need something that is going to track what you're doing from week to week, month to month, year to year. Assuming obviously you're doing this for your life. This is not just like a temporary thing. Just like how you brush your teeth for life, you should work out for life, right? So track your progress, progressively overload, don't overtrain, don't undertrain, find a happy medium, and let's get these gains, y'all. Let's raise the bar, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.